Thank you for joining us on another episode of Popcorn for Breakfast. With me, as always, I guess. I don't know. I can't see him. He's gone. He's a ghost. But it's Kirk.
Well, since my baby left me,
Lord.
well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street.
What is that with?
Hotel, baby, so where I be so lonely, baby. Hello. How's it
You
going?
should have sang Thrift Shop instead with that with that rug you got on.
Not
there.
it off. You'll have to watch the YouTube video if you are only listening with your ears. Check me out.
Well, you still got the Elvis impression, and you just didn't get the look, which is frankly awful. The rubber hairpiece is really what's getting me right now.
Yes, I found out a few moments ago that this is actually a hairpiece for Clark Kent.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And certainly meant for a small child, I would
Small
guess.
dog. Whether
Cat.
one.
Oh, Lord. I didn't know they made those things for babies, but
They do.
They do. Wow. What a look there, Kirk. Is there a reason you're paying homage to the king of rock and roll tonight?
No, just a normal Tuesday. Or no, today's Monday.
Monday. Just a Monday. Yep.
Well, of course. We see this week internationally, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis
there it is. There it
in
is.
theaters. And we have also reviewed it this week, which you can listen to later this week.
Thursday, we'll be dropping the old Elvis review. We'll see. Old Boz, we'll see how he fares against our rigorous review standards. It's his first film in 9 years. First film since The Great Gatsby. And he for being this filmmaker that like so many people say, oh, I love Boz. He's done like 6 movies.
Right.
He's only done a few movies. He's not Steven Spielberg. He has a very limited list of films, most of which people don't even recognize. I think people think Moulin Rouge, they think Romeo and Juliet, they think Gatsby,
right?
But they don't necessarily think Australia. They don't, I don't know. It's an interesting thing how he has risen to acclaim with such a limited resume.
Right. It's pretty impressive. Because a lot of other directors and creatives, they go for quantity. They strive for quality every time, but they know that's statistically not possible. Even Tarantino, I want to make 10 great films, right? So
I know.
9.
It's 10. He's already made 9. Oh
my goodness. I almost just cried.
We'll see if he sticks to that. I'm still taking the over on 10.
Oh, kind of like Matt Damon, right? How Matt Damon was like, I'm going to make my first $1 million.
Yeah.
And I'm out.
Right.
Yeah, okay, Matt.
Yeah, for sure, Matt. Totally. Yeah, that explains what was the Great Wall.
Yeah.
Is that the one he was in?
Yes.
Totally integrity project there by Matt. Now, I'm not here to sling stones at Matt Damon. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, if you can make lots of money making movies, you're probably going to do it.
Absolutely.
That's money talks. But yeah, we'll get into that. Do you speak on that same note? Brad Pitt this week was saying that he feels like he's in the last stage of his career. I can't remember the exact terminology he used. He
the final semester.
He's on my
last semester.
Yeah, last semester is on his last leg. How long do you think that leg of the race is, Kirk?
I think that's 30 more years.
Yeah, easily, right? Because he started acting forever ago, right? So, like, if this is the last leg and he's how old? I mean,
54, maybe?
Yeah, pretty close. Maybe close to 60? No.
I'm going to double down on 54.
Okay, he was born in 1963.
Mm-hmm.
How old does that make him?
Nope.
59?
63? Math on Popcorn for Breakfast.
59. He was born in 63.
63.
Yeah.
2022.
So I just mean he's been going for 40 years. So another 20 years he'd be almost 80. So yeah, I'd say that's fair. Like if it's a 3-leg race, this is certainly the last leg, but that last leg might be 20 years.
Right. And I think he's not in a position where he's going to feel like he needs to do a movie a year, right? It might be a movie every 5 years.
And he's already like that, though. I
true.
feel like he's already doing what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of been in that mode for a while now. So
now he can take on any Robert Redford role he wants
It's
to.
true.
He's stepping into that, and I mean,
I'm ready for that.
yeah.
I always think about it. I can't wait for the big name actors and actresses of our, I mean, I like to say actors for everybody, but of our generation to get like who is taking on the old person roles, because I live for that, man. I love the Robert Duvalls, the Robert Redfords, like the Shirley MacLaines. Like I want it. I want to see them all the way through. I want to see what kind of roles they take, because I think a lot of times it offers them a lot of like creative freedom in their later years.
Isn't it fun because we saw every time we get someone who's young, they're the lover role, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna fall in love with someone at some point, or 100 movies for it, right? And now they get to be the wise old man or wise old woman who gets to
Yeah,
help the young whippersnappers and teach
exactly.
them the way. It's so cool. It's so
It's pretty
exciting.
cool. I'm ready for that for Brad Pitt. He still looks incredible though, so he's got a ways to go. He's not old by any means.
No,
But yeah, I think that last leg, I think you're probably right. Somewhere around 20, 30 years, it'll be the last leg of his career. But I love it. I love how those guys throw stuff out like that just to get people buzzing. It's like how anytime they interview Tom Holland, he's like, I might retire. I don't know. Just to like make sure everybody still likes him. I guess
right?
that's what that is.
That's
All
right.
right. But we have, other than the Brad Pitt story, which we already covered, tons of news. Well, I'm lying. Let's be honest. We didn't do What's Poppin' last week
Fire.
because we had scheduling conflicts, but also there just like wasn't a week where you like had to do What's Poppin'. There wasn't like some big story. And so we were like, okay, we've got scheduling conflicts. We'll push it a week. And then an amazing thing happened, Kirk. And that thing is nothing. Nothing new happened in movie and TV news for like the second week in a row. So we're gonna go through what there is. There are some big stories. A lot of it is like wait and see type stuff, like, oh, this thing has been announced or this person has been cast. So we'll cover it all. But um, it's not. I mean, this isn't like some weeks we have where it's just like boom, boom, big hitter after big hitter after big hitter. This is not that kind of week. Okay, but we're here. We're gonna do it.
Not
We're
at
gonna
all.
have fun. And Kirk has a game too, right, Kirk?
I do. I do. It's called Biopic Schmiopic.
Biopic,
This is where you play the
schmiopic.
laugh track right there,
Yeah, I don't have it
or
anymore,
the
but yes, that's a good one.
that's right.
So So I'll have to brush up on my biopic knowledge, I'm guessing, right, Kirk?
That's right. Well, you'll get no opportunity. There's no study time, no study period. You will just
Mhm.
be thrown
Right.
into it.
Yes.
And I hope
All
you
right.
have
Well, we'll
seen a
get
lot
to
of
that.
biopics because I dug deep on this.
I have. I've seen quite a few. Um, I've been critical of the biopic formula, so we'll see how that fares whenever we talk about Elvis later this week on our review. So swing back for that. But I still have seen lots of biopics. Maybe that's why I'm growing weary of the formula, because it's like I've seen so many of the biopics that I'm kind of like getting tired of them. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But before we get into that,
Hmm.
let's get into what's popping. All right. First up, oh, where to begin, Kirk? I feel like the world is my oyster. I have so many different choices here, but here's where I'm going to start, because I think this is big news. And you and I are not,
Hmm.
we're not thronies. I don't know if this is a if that's a term. We're not Game of Thrones people per se. I've seen the show, but I'm not like the world's biggest fan of the show. But they're doing a spin-off, uh, shocker, about Jon Snow, who is played by Kit Harrington. And Kit Harrington is going to return to reprise his role as Jon Snow, which is a big story. And here's what's really interesting about it to me. If you remember, Game of Thrones did not end on the best terms with its fandom. The last season went out in flames. People did not like it. It was heavily criticized. There's like petitions to remake it. There's petitions to like strike it from the record. Um, but what's different about this versus House of the Dragon, which is the prequel series that's coming out, is that this one's not a prequel. It's a sequel. So they're building on to the end of that failed final season by picking up the story with Jon Snow, who and Kirk, I know you're not a Game of Thrones guy, so I'll just rehash this. Jon Snow at the end, he killed, and I did not watch the last season, so I just watched it on Twitter. So here's where I'm at. But he kills Daenerys Targaryen, and in order to avoid a war, the new king Bran sentences him to like go back to be a part of the Night's Watch and to be banished forever. Anybody in the chat who wants to correct me on my Game of Thrones, feel free to do so. But I don't think fans were particularly fond of that plotline, so I'm surprised that they're going this route. Kirk, does this at all make you be like, hey, I like Kit Harington, so I want to watch Game of Thrones? Or like what do you think about the spinoffs? Are you at all intrigued?
I'm not at all intrigued. I didn't know who Kit Harington was because I didn't watch Game of
Mm.
Thrones. I knew his name. I saw his face everywhere. And then I saw him show up in the Eternals. That was the first performance I saw of his.
Oh wow.
And he did a killer. Yeah, I saw nothing else of his before then. Nothing. Which is pretty impressive over a decade of his work in Game of Thrones. I thought he was wonderful in Eternals. I thought he was very electric. He had a very good character development.
Agreed.
Hope to see him again. And I think it's a step back because, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's money. I'm sure he feels comfortable in that role, feels excited to fix what was done. But I feel like he has such a better opportunity ahead of himself to get out of that role and move on because he's done it, right? Or wait, like, I don't know, wait till you get those other big roles under your belt before you go back to Game of Thrones that you left. It seems a little too soon for me.
Yeah, do the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. Like let it
Hmm.
marinate for a bit and then swing back around and get it. I could see that. I feel like Warner and HBO are kind of panicking with Game of Thrones because it was their golden goose and it had and has so much potential. But that final season like really risked that potential, like kind of pushed it to the edge where like even the most diehard of fans were like, "Oh, we don't like this." And since the books hadn't been written yet for the final season, they are like really risky because then they can be like, "Oh, this isn't canon. That's not real." So I feel like they like Warner sees the golden egg like melting before their eyes and they're trying to salvage it, but they don't know exactly which lever to pull. So I think prequels, even though man, I get tired of prequels in general, are a good play. Sequels are a risky play, but if you do it right, maybe there's a chance to right some of the wrongs of the final season. Though that stuff always feels a little bit like when they use new stuff to retcon stuff that fans openly hated, that always feels a little bit. Star Wars has done it a couple times, and even though I appreciate it when it happens because I like having the plot holes cleaned up, it does always feel a little bit artificial. So I feel like it's risky territory, but the fans love Kit Harington. Maybe they'll come back to watch this show.
I would even say sometimes when writers are attempting to retcon things that their ideas didn't come across the way that they anticipated them. And so then they
Mm.
start to over explain in the sequels. And that could be a very much what happens with this, where they're like, oh, well, I killed Amelia Clark because of XYZ and those sorts of things. So I don't know. I hope it just gets shelved. And I just want to see Kit Harington just take off with his career because what I saw in just that little snippet in Eternals was just star quality.
Well, and he will be Dane Whitman. He'll be Black Knight going forward in the MCU. That's sure to be a pretty big role for him. And to your point, like he killed
Mhm.
it in his lone appearance so far. There are rumors. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff coming out since um, Moon Knight. Lots of people were getting Eternals vibes from Moon Knight, and there were rumors that like basically every rumored cameo that I've read about that the directors have said like, oh, we talked about this, but then we didn't do it. It's all been Eternals related. Like they said that Kingo was going to appear in an episode, and then they said that Dane Whitman was going to maybe appear, and so like all of that ties into Eternals. So we were close to more, but I've a feeling that it's on the horizon. It's on the horizon.
Okay. Okay. As long as I get more Kit Harington outside of the Game of Thrones verse, that's all I want.
You will. You will. Rest assured. All right. But speaking of Marvel, our friends at Marvel who always manage to find their way into this episode, the What's Poppin' episode. They're always here. They dropped somewhat of a surprise, I think, um, in announcing, well, not announcing, but Deadline is reporting that a Wonderman, or actually, sorry, the Hollywood Reporter, switching my stories around. The Hollywood Reporter is exclusively reporting that a Wonderman series is in the works at the MCU with Destin Daniel Cretton, who is the director of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, returning to executive produce, maybe showrun. And we'll kind of see how that creative team forms out. But they're making a Wonder Man series for Disney Plus. So Disney continuing to double down on the series, though I think we can discuss whether that's a successful plan for them or not. But Wonder Man being introduced, as a fan of the comics, Kirk, are you excited about Wonder Man? What level of excitement does this have for you? How would you compare it to some of the other announcements? Like, is it peak excitement or is it lower on the list?
I feel like it's lower on the list. I unfortunately don't know that much about Wonder Man. Right now I'm going through my dad's old comics that I stole from
Mm,
him. I mean, basic here's the deal. They were in a closet for like 15 years, okay? And he never
yeah,
touched them. And I
yeah,
said, "Dad, I'm taking these and I'm going
it's
to
fair game.
cash in on all of it and you get none of the money." And he said, "Okay."
Squatters'
And
rights.
wow. What a terrible choice that was for him. So I feel like I might find him, Wonder Man, pop up in one of these comics, but I don't really know his powers, where he came from, what he can do. So, and the name kind of Wonder Man, I don't know, it doesn't really fit in today's like world of wow, superheroes. What do you know about Wonder Man?
Well, are they going to put a giant W on his chest? Because I'm so here for that. I feel like they've been trending towards classic costumes a little bit. They've been dabbling
Yeah.
in the classic costumes lately in Phase 4. I would love to see them do that because I like the gaudiness of superheroes. Like, sure, modern costumes are more practical, but let's slap a big W on his chest, right? This is comics after all. But Wonder Man, I feel like this one, for me, the surprise was not like that they're doing a Wonder Man series. It's that it took this long to be announced because if you remember when we were talking about WandaVision, Wonder Man, I almost said Wonder Woman. Wonder Man came up quite a few times because there are some weird converging storylines here. First of all, um, Wonder Man in at least one of the plot lines, like the main plot line, gets his powers as the result of Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo is responsible
Whoa.
for his powers, but also Simon Williams, who is Wonder Man, is they use his memories and sort of like cerebral makeup to make Vision's memories, and so they are kind of, so they're not the same person, but they kind of are. Like Vision shares memories with Simon Williams. And so there's this weirdness where, like, when the whole White Vision thing happens in the comics, um,
Yeah.
Vision loses himself. And when they're trying to recreate him, he like wants to get his memories back. And so they want Simon Williams to participate, but then he won't because he's also in love with Wanda, but Wanda's not in love with him. So there's this weird like love triangle thing that
Sad.
happens. Simon Williams feels like a little bit like the whole Vision using his memories thing is a little bit invasive, and so there's like a friendship, but also a frenemies thing. There's a lot. There's a lot there with regard to Wanda, with regard to White Vision, the West Coast Avengers. So this has been, I feel like, in the works because they've been laying heavy seeds, as we talked about with WandaVision, toward some of those West Coast Avengers plot lines.
Mhm.
And now with like Baron Zemo being in the fold a little bit more, with Thunderbolts and things like that, and WandaVision being what it is, and White Vision still being out there. I mean, we didn't even see him in the Doctor Strange movie. This makes sense to me.
Yeah, Thunderbolts makes a lot of sense for them to pop up if, that's where he gets his powers, right? Like
Yeah.
it's right in there. That would be cool. I'm for the W. I'm for the W. I think it's just the name. Like when they hopefully they just refer to him as his real name, then Wonder Man, help me,
You think it's a little cheesy, the Wonder
Uh,
Man name?
it's It's maybe one of the cheesiest properties that Marvel has. However, we've got a picture up right now. He looks pretty cool even in the OG. He came out in the original Avengers comics in the Bronze Age, and he looks pretty cool even at that time. So I don't
I think
think,
he's cool. I think
yeah,
he's cool. I think his color scheme's cool. I think his vibe is cool. His powers are cool.
I think it's just Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
It throws me off. It really does. So I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong. Who's going to play Wonder Man? Maybe Henry Cavill?
No, I think it's going to be, and I know that people are already fan casting this guy as Ben Grimm, um, but your boy from Reacher, the Reacher series,
Oh,
he
okay.
doesn't have black hair. He does he has a little more of like a lighter hair look
Oh, they could
typically.
dye that.
But Alan Rickson, I think is his name. I just think that's he has the right build for it. He's very broad. They could also make good on their Channing Tatum debt here if they wanted to. You know, he
Mm.
was so broken up about not playing Gambit. He was promised Gambit for like forever. Maybe they finally roll him into it. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But do you think this series, the Marvel series, as a vehicle for introducing new characters, as it's been done with Moon Knight, you know, I guess Miss Marvel for sure, but also She-Hulk. Like, do you think that's a successful model?
I think it's successful, but I think we need a break because now we've seen all these introductions play out. And so
Yeah.
if and when they do Wonder Man, it needs to be like 3-4 years away. Because I even
You know
feel
it
like
won't be though. You know it won't be.
I know. I even feel like with Miss Marvel, while I'm enjoying it
Yeah.
very thoroughly right now, I just feel like I kind of know how it's playing out. There still are surprises. I'm still enjoying watching it. It's still fun.
Yeah.
It's still dramatic. I just feel like, all right, I've done this several times recently, so there needs to be a break.
The saturation is kicking in, man. It's real. Like
Hmm.
the Marvel oversaturation, I think, is real. I think people are feeling it. I really feel like, and we've talked about it ad nauseum on this show, but I really feel like the fringe mainstream fans, who are the people who bring in most of the money, the people who they will go see every Marvel movie, but they're not watching the headlines and reading, like tying everything together. They're just kind of like, the majority of people who go see these movies, they're not on the ride. They're not riding the train through all the series. They're not seeing every movie anymore. I think they're getting worn out, and I'll be interested. I feel like there's a breaking point coming one way or the other. Either Marvel's gonna correct somehow by either like introducing a through line that ties everything together and everybody wants to go back and watch everything, or I don't know, the money starts to talk.
Right, right. There's someone that we know. I won't call him out because he's an incredible film connoisseur, but someone we know has not seen the last like 6 or 7 Avengers properties, films, and series. And I'm like, yeah, like no shade because there's so many. If you didn't have
It's
the
so
time,
much.
it's impossible. So we do it because it's our job that will eventually pay us millions of dollars. And
Right.
I just want to reiterate to Marvel that we are hireable, we are available, and if
I
you
mean, they're
want
giving
to,
money to everybody to write a movie. I feel like we just need to come up with a screenplay. Let's just pick the most obscure hero, Kirk,
okay.
because it's only a matter of time, right? Like process of elimination. They will eventually
Hmm.
get down to the bottom of the barrel. So if we just find somebody, trying
Most
to think,
obscure Marvel
we need to find the Marvel
characters.
equivalent of the Condiment King in DC.
Here we go. We've got the 3D man.
Love
That
it.
sounds promising. There's one called Armadillo.
Yeah, oh, I know of Armadillo. We
Oh,
could
well,
definitely hit that.
we can't do that one because you know it. You know it. What else is in here? What else is
I'm just
exciting
saying,
in
there.
here?
Like, if we scrape the bottom of the barrel, I guarantee we could find something. We write a script, we submit it now. When Kevin Feige has his next retreat with all of his goons to plan the next 10 years, they're gonna be like,
Okay.
"Crap, we need to make a this man movie," and we will have already written the script, and he'll have no other choice.
Here it is. Ort. Ort the Living Comet. I think that's the one we run with.
Love it.
Or, however, Mean Cuisine. That's a good one right there. What are these?
Give me Beta Ray Bill. I think that might be a little too big, but I would write the heck out of a Beta Ray Bill movie.
We're going
Just saying,
Ort.
we have options. We have options. All right, let's move on before we play this bit out. I think we already have. Okay, next up. Oh, where to go, Kirk? I'm gonna throw you a bone here, Kirk.
Okay.
I'm just gonna light the fuse and let you fly here because they are making a Matilda movie musical for Netflix
Yes.
with Emma Thompson as Miss Trunchbull. Um, I mean, fire away, Kirk. Kirk, like just for context for anyone who's new to the program, Kirk is a Matilda super fan and has
That I am.
likely been waiting for this day his entire life. So, I mean,
Man,
have at it.
if you are a big Danny DeVito Matilda fan of the 90s, just know that the story is similar, but it is not of the movie. Just be very clear about that. And still, it is phenomenal. Now, listen to me. I've seen the movie, the film Matilda, probably 8,000 times just in my childhood alone. And the fact that the musical came out and I haven't seen it to this day drives me crazy. It won billions of Tonys, it was seen worldwide. I mean, this is magical. If you've ever listened to the music, if you're out there and you've listened to the Matilda the musical music, it is just so enchanting. I mean, it really does transport you to a different world, and the fact that it's on screen, it's going to be so great. Well, it says this holiday season, so I don't know if that means Thanksgiving or Christmas, but we're not too far away. We're already in July here in a couple of days, so I'm very, very excited about this film.
I'm guessing it means Thanksgiving. I feel like usually if they say holiday season, they're saying Thanksgiving, but I like the angle they're going with it because they just showed Emma Thompson yeeting a kid into oblivion, which is incredible, and I'm here for that. I want it to be totally insane. In fact, we saw the role like is this somehow related to the new Willy Wonka musical too? Because they have the same sort of like font and they call it like Roald Dahl's Willy Wonka that we just or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that we just saw. So is there like a trend of new musicals being made out of classic Roald Dahl properties and this is one of them?
I think the Roald Dahl estate is absolutely capitalizing. I think there
Yeah,
was probably some producers that like, hey, listen, I was a child of the 90s and I really want this to be on stage and it could make a lot of money. And bravo,
word.
because both of them are resurfacing hardcore.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting, and I'm happy for you, Kirk, most of all. But I believe Teyana Paris is also in this
Yes,
adaptation, so
that's
that's
right.
exciting. I think she's fantastic. So very excited about that, but mostly excited for you, Kirk. Really am.
Thank you. I mean, at one point, actually, I still say to Aubrey, I say, listen, if we have another girl, I really, really want to name her Matilda. And she shoots me down every time.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. It just is. That's a tough sell. Um,
But it's
but
such a
hey,
powerful name.
a-
Oh,
a-
man.
and you want it unironically. Like you're not doing it as a troll. Like you actually want that name.
No, I mean, I loved everything that Matilda stood for, that she found this inner strength to overcome things out of her control. This
Yeah,
magic that came about was pure survival and pure innocence in the way that she saw and studied and understood the world on a different level. I mean, I could go for hours talking
that's
to you
beautiful,
about
Kirk.
Matilda themes. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it, and I'm happy for you. Next up, let's go to another remake of a classic property to keep the nostalgia train rolling. And Disney's back at it again with another live action remake, one that's been rumored forever, but only recently was confirmed, being confirmed by Deadline that Guy Ritchie has been tapped once more by Disney to do a live action remake after the success of Aladdin, which, by the way, made $1 billion in the box office. I don't know if people
Whoa.
realize that. Um, he's going to do Hercules. Guy Ritchie is returning to do another live action remake. It's going to be Hercules, which this is the one. This is interesting. People have an insane affiliation to this movie. There's an insane tie, emotional tie for a certain group of people, and I think my household was not a big Hercules household growing up. We had seen it, watched it, enjoyed it, but it wasn't like one of the ones that we were like, oh my gosh, yes, Hercules. But so many people are like the majority of people from my generation are big, or our generation, I should say, Kirk, are huge Hercules fans. But I've been ultra critical of the Disney live action remakes. I feel like they cheapen it. I feel like they cheapen the original film. I feel like, I was just having this conversation with my sister the other day that there is a reason, like animation as a medium has a reason for why things are animation. And you can't just shot for shot take something that's animated, which is what they've been doing, and put it in live action and expect it to work because it doesn't. I thought
Mhm.
the Aladdin movie was not good. I thought that Beauty and the Beast was ultra forgettable, especially since the original is a masterpiece. You know my thoughts on The Lion King. We reviewed it on this podcast. I did not like it. So I'm not particularly excited about this, Kirk, but what are your thoughts?
I'm hesitant because for the very first time, I watched the Aladdin live action, and while there are some sequences that are pretty clever, they kind of got flipped on their end and they were made in a different way, which is one of your criteria for why make it.
Yes, it is.
Um, they were all over with the character developments, specifically Aladdin, which ouch, and Jafar, like their character development was just like weird. The tactics that the actor who played Aladdin and definitely Jafar chose were just misguided. I'm fine with you if you want to make it your own. That's fine. It really is. It really is. But if you're not true to the character and to the character's experiences, and you just like go off on your own, completely divergent interpretation, well, then you're going to lose the audience entirely. So if you don't
Yes.
get Hercules right for the stands that are out there, you're gonna make less than 500 mil in the box office.
Here's a question for you. Will it be a musical?
Needs to be. However,
Mm,
there's not even that many songs in Hercules. So,
yeah. But
I
the
say
ones
do
that
all the
are there,
songs and don't market it as a musical.
yeah, the ones that are there are big, are heavy hitters. Zero to Hero and Go the Distance and the song that Meg sings that I can't remember. But it's
I
like
also can't remember it. It's a good one
the
though
fans
too.
are gonna want it. They're gonna want it. So I'll be interested to see if they go full Mulan on this or if they decide to keep it a musical. I don't know.
I think Sam Raimi should have had a shot at doing this musical because it is Hercules. As we know, his Kevin Sorbo series back in the 90s was
Yes.
fantastic.
Good call. Great call, Kirk. And yeah, he's now initiated into
Thank you.
the Disney world with his Marvel success recently. So why not? Why not give him a spin at it? But a lot of times Marvel with these live action remakes, they're like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They used John Favreau multiple times. Now they're using Guy Ritchie multiple times. Like I think they're just like, this is a cash opportunity. Let's go out and make some cash. Let's do it with somebody we know is going to toe the company line and get the job done. Guy Ritchie appears to be that guy for them.
Mhm.
So good for him. Good for them. Hope it works out. We'll see. Next up, where do I want to go here? I'm going to say a couple of things, and then I have a really fun one for you. One, they appear to
Okay.
be rebooting the Planet of the Apes yet again. Um, so that's an interesting thing because I feel like the smoke hasn't even like that thing is not settled yet. The Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes series, which was critically acclaimed, and I think probably the best adaptation of Planet of the Apes that you can kind of get in the modern age, like making these apes like compelling human creatures. I mean, Caesar's like a great character. Um, that thing is still fresh, and yet they're now pursuing 20th Century Studios and Disney are pursuing a new Planet of the Apes series. Believe it, it's a trilogy that's going to be written and helmed by Wes Ball, whose claim to fame is the Maze Runner film series. Um, Kirk, are you? I mean, I think we've had enough apes, right?
Yeah, this is a film trilogy, correct?
Yes, not a TV series, films.
Mm. I would feel more secure if it was a TV series, honestly. If you wanted to reboot it, go for it. See what we can do with 8 to 10 episodes, whatever. But as another trilogy, No, I really don't think that's necessary. Even if you were going to put it in some theme park at Universal or wherever, I think that it still is fresh enough for Matt Reeves. Just re-release those to theaters for a couple of weeks and get people bought in. There's no reason we should have another Planet of the Apes right now.
Yeah, I think the Matt Reeves movies were really good, and I don't know what the box office numbers were off the top of my head, but I think they did fairly well. It was quite the epic series. Some of those movies were really incredible, and yeah, it's and Deadline's reporting this. It's not clear if this is well, they're not saying it's a spin-off. That's where I'm getting hung up. I'm like, if it's not directly like this is a spin-off of that world, then I don't see the point in making this because that is like super fresh. Like when did War for the Planet of the Apes come out? Like 2017 or something? I mean, it was not that long ago.
It might have been 14.
Was it 14? Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Getting close to the dreaded 10 years. Nobody wants to let anything sit for 10 years. Um
The 10-year
seems like
itch with movies.
it seems like it. It was 2017. I was right. War for the Planet of the Apes was
Oh,
2017.
okay.
So I feel like the dust has not even settled on that, and we need to chill out. We need to chill out.
Well, that means we've had 4 Planet of the Apes movies in 20 years. So I don't
Yes,
think we need 4 and 5 and 20 5 and 6 in 25 years, you know?
I think
Like, I
it's
think that's
yeah.
too
I
soon. I think
agree.
it looks like by the year 2023 or 2024. So within the next 2 years, they're trying to land the beginning of this trilogy. I just think that's really weird. I think that's really
I agree. I agree. Okay, but here's something they are rebooting, and I don't know if this is good or not. It's certainly another nostalgia play, but it's Spy Kids, Kirk. It's Spy Kids. Robert Rodriguez is coming back to revamp Spy Kids for Netflix, and they are going with a cast that's going to be headlined by Zachary Levi and Gina Rodriguez, according to Deadline. And Robert Rodriguez is back to direct and kind of make this thing happen. What do you think? Spy Kids in the modern era, can it work? I feel like it's kind of a meme movie franchise these days. So do they lean into that? Do they try to make it better? What do they do?
well, I mean, Zachary Levi can do very little wrong. He can do a couple of wrong things. There's a commercial,
Disagree. I think
like a holiday
he does some
commercial.
things wrong.
But I feel like there is something here, on TikTok because I'm trying to stay hip with the kids. There was name a quote that came from the most unexpected place, and they so you read off this quote and you say where it's from, and there was some mystical, like life changing quote that someone said, and then the quote where it came from, Spy Kids. And I just imagine like Antonio Banderas, like, reading off that line, and, I mean, I don't know, I'm for it. Spy Kids has a special place in my heart. I could see them redoing it because I want my kids to get into Spy Kids when they're old enough, and it would be cool to have them watch the old ones, like, the good old ones, like 1 and 2, and then immediately jump to the new one also if it's good enough.
You're not a big Spy Kids 3D Game Over fan, Kirk?
Absolutely not. Never seen it.
Elijah Wood? Never seen it?
No.
I saw it in theaters with my 3D glasses, and it's so funny. It's one of the in theater experiences from my childhood that I like really remember. Like I like
Yeah.
very vividly remember. Like I remember that I was eating Mike and Ike's, and I remember the theater that I was at, and I remember the glasses, and I remember the whole thing. Like it's for whatever reason that film has stuck with me. But I agree. I think those first two movies are really fun. And yeah, this is something today's kids should have. I feel like there's not enough like good collective viewing experiences for modern kids because they're not cable babies, you know. They're like streaming babies. They like all watch things on streaming, and so they're watching all these different things that are really like curated by their parents rather than just like watching what's on. And maybe things like this help rekindle that community aspect.
I think there is a real shortage of spy movies for kids. When we were kids, there was just a bombardment of it, like Spy Kids 1, Spy Kids 2. We had,
Agent Cody Banks.
thank you. I was like, Frankie Muniz, what was he in? We had like the Hulk Hogan was in stuff. We had Three Ninjas, which were they kind of did spy things, even though they were ninjas.
Yeah,
Like we had
and Codename Kids Next Door, the animated show.
it just keeps going. Like it was all about spies. So I think this could very much kick off a new spike in Spy Kids movies. Literally the brand and then other spy movies for kids.
I love it. I love it. Let's hope they smash it. We'll see what happens. Kirk, I have one last one for you before we get into our game because I think
Okay.
this is a special treat. I don't know if I know you're a big Shawn Mendes guy, but have you
Maybe
heard
the biggest.
that he'll be playing a beloved childhood character, one of my favorite childhood characters, Lyle Crocodile, in an upcoming film that's in the same likeness of like Paddington.
I have heard rumblings of this. Yes.
Well, I don't think you've seen the trailer because I didn't post it on social media, and I asked you about it to make sure you hadn't because I wanted to show you a clip from it that I think is utterly hilarious in every possible way. So I'm gonna play this right now, and I'm gonna play it with sound. I'm gonna risk it all here, Kirk. They might pull our video down because of this 10-second clip, but it has to be seen and it has to be heard. Okay, has to be. Here we go. And I'm playing it because it's promotional, so I should be allowed to share it because it's a trailer. I'm saying that for the lawyers. Okay, here we go.
Taste for human flesh, but he's not like that. He wears a scarf, and he can sing. Are you sure this is safe?
Oh, okay, that's it. Just
my
Shawn
goodness.
Mendes's voice coming out of an animated alligator or crocodile. I felt like felt like the world needed to see and hear that because it hasn't been viewed by that many people. That trailer has only been seen by like 500,000 people, and that is just not enough because that is absurd in every way. And I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's horrible, but it's also hilarious. So here we are.
You know, very similar to the movie that we reviewed this week, Elvis. You know, Elvis was constantly trying to break into the acting world, and I guess maybe Shawn Mendes is attempting that as well. But
Oh
when you
man.
have such a beautiful voice, it's sometimes hard to be able to do absolutely everything. So I don't have high hopes for this movie with Shawn Mendes's beautiful, piercing tenor voice to become Lyle the Crocodile, but I'll go see it for that scene alone. I just want to go watch you watch it, actually.
Yeah, you should. That book is a banger. I think there's multiple books, but I always read the original Lyle the Crocodile, and I read it with my kids now. Totally, it's crazy. I love how older books were just totally nuts. Like there is not even good story structure. It's just crazy ideas in a book. I love that that's how people used to write kids books, and that's what Lyle's all about, man. Like totally preposterous concept, but it actually has a very sweet message behind it all. So I think that movie will be utterly horrible. Somehow they conned Constance Wu and Javier Bardem into being in this movie, but so who knows? Maybe it'll be another Paddington. I don't know, but it looks utterly horrible. So I had to share that.
Well, Shawn Mendes, good luck. We wish you the best.
All right, let's pop it up one last time, and then let's play biopic schmiopic.
Yes.
Kirk, you have the floor.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder. We have reviewed Elvis Baz Luhrmann's latest movie hit, fantastic, epic biopic. And that's why we're doing the biopic schmiopic.
Yeah.
So
That was
there's
pretty
gonna
good.
be- Thank you. There's going to be lots of points involved with this, similar to last time. I don't have a pen, so you'll have to keep track of your own score.
Am I going to be able to? So this is our third game in recent weeks, and
Yeah.
I've been accumulating points.
Mhm.
Now I have not written them down. I trust that you have. I'm hoping to be able to purchase something with them. Is that what's going to happen, or am I going to just public ridicule for not getting enough points, or what's at stake here?
You know, I have been keeping point tracking in various places. Like There's another piece of paper sitting somewhere around here. There's a
Yeah,
whiteboard.
right.
And now I have this other piece of paper, and I don't have a pen for the first time I've ever sat down for recording. So
Perfect.
I'm gonna have to trust you to give.
Well, the
to
good
keep
news
track of
is that
this.
all of this is recorded, so we can always go check the scoreboard if we need
Yes,
to.
and I will listen back to it and find out those scores. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Similar to a couple weeks ago, I'm going to give you the name of a movie. You might have to name the
Okay.
movie. I might not give you the movie. Might give you the clue of who the real person is. Might give you a clue to who the actor is. And you have to find the answer. There's 10 points if you get it without any hints. Then it goes 1 hint, 8 points.
Mm.
2 hints, 5 points. 3 hints, 1 point.
Ooh,
Are you ready?
I think so. I think so.
This is Biopic Schmiopic. Question number 1.
I was waiting for them. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Kieran, dim the lights from Ryan Seacrest. Name the title of the film depicting the most influential classical orchestra composer of all time.
Most influential classical orchestra composer of all time.
It could have also been orchestral. I don't know the right conjugation. But name the
Okay.
title of the film depicting the most influential classical orchestra composer of all time.
The Pianist.
That is incorrect.
No.
Hint number 1.
Amadeus.
That is correct.
Okay. Give me 8
I'll-
points. We'll count that as hint
I'll
number
give you
one.
8 points because I didn't get to read it off. No problem.
It occurred to me immediately after. I was like, you idiot. The Pianist isn't about an orchestra. You're just thinking of music movies, you dummy.
I love it. My other hints were hint number 1, the title has part of his name in it, which is his middle name. Wolfgang
I've also
Amadeus.
seen Amadeus, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Oh,
Just
boy.
a reminder, this film won 8 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director,
Woo!
Best Makeup, and some more. And hint number 3, if you got that far, I was going to say Salieri.
I like it.
Just like that. Question number 2. Name the stage name of this biopic's subject. This movie stars a young Reginald Dwight on his mission to becoming an unstoppable force in the music industry. Name the stage name of this biopic's subject.
Reginald Dwight. Name the stage name. I need hint number 1.
Hint number 1. Richard Madden plays a supporting character in this film.
Richard Madden.
One of my favorites. Icarus. This is not an extra hint. I won't deduct points, but Icarus.
I know
in
who
the
Richard.
Eternals.
I know who
Oh.
Richard Madden is. I'm very aware of that. But what movie is this? Number 2. Reginald Dwight is giving me nothing right now.
It's
Nothing at
crazy,
all.
right? Hint number 2. The real artist has collaborated with Eminem in a groundbreaking performance.
Oh Lord. Oh, Dido? Elton John.
There it is.
Reginald Dwight, that's his name?
That's his real.
This is Rocket Man.
That's Rocket Man. That is correct.
Wow, I haven't seen Rocket Man.
Neither have I.
That's one of the that's a black mark on my resume from last. When was that movie? 2019?
It was probably. Okay,
Certainly.
I think you've got this next one down.
I hope so. I'm doing terribly so far.
I don't think you can miss this one. I think there's a full 10 points.
I
coming
almost
your
missed
way.
Amadeus, Kirk. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Okay, let's go.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. Name the title of the film based off of the autobiography of a man surviving Warsaw in World War II.
Name the title of a film. Oh yeah, The Pianist, right?
That's right.
Wow, it was like a trick question. You gave me the old rope-a-dope there. I was like, what?
I did. Man, I guess biopics are actually a little bit hard if you're not studied up on them. I mean, I'm reading these out loud and I'm like, these are kind of hard since from
It's
computer
just
to paper.
it's hard, like, because you have to. It's like 2 questions in one. You have to first like
True.
figure out who the person is, and then you have to figure out the name of the movie.
That is true. That is
Which
true.
is fine. It's good. It's a good brain busters here, Kirk.
Well, the next one, it's you have to connect the dots again, but I need the movie of the next one.
Okay.
Elvis Presley
Sure.
took a famous picture at Sun Records Studios on December 4th, 1956. One of the other artists in that famous picture also has a movie biopic. Name the title of that movie. It was Elvis Presley and 4 other superstar musicians,
Yeah.
and one of them has a spectacular biopic.
I'm gonna guess that the movie is Ray.
That is incorrect.
Ah.
Your first hint. Reese Witherspoon won her Best Actress award for this film.
So it's Johnny Cash. It's Walk the Line.
That is correct.
Okay.
Very nice. Very
There we go.
nice. Very nice. All right. I want you to think about your last answer.
Oh gosh.
This is your final question. Are you ready?
Yes.
This biopic produced a Best Actor winner, which was only the 3rd African American to win the award. Name the movie.
Wait. This is a trick question.
This biopic.
Is it King Richard?
Hold on. We're naming the movie.
Yeah.
This biopic produced a Best Actor winner, which was only the 3rd African American to ever win the Best Actor award at the Academy Awards. Name the movie.
It's either Ray or King Richard.
Okay.
Ray.
That is correct.
Okay.
Shockingly.
So Will Smith is only the 4th then.
There might be someone before that.
Oh,
but
Mahershala.
But it was Mahershala, and there might even be one more. But it went Sidney Poitier for Lilies of the Field in goodness, like 19
way back
70.
Yeah.
And then Training Day with Denzel Washington.
Yes.
And then finally
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. One fun fact about Jamie Foxx, this is actually really cool movie trivia, is that Jamie Foxx was doubly nominated that night in Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. Best Actor for Ray, which he won. Best Supporting Actor for Collateral.
Yes.
Starring opposite Tom Cruise, which not my cup of tea, the movie. And then Morgan Freeman was nominated for $1 Million Baby and won a Best Supporting Actor that night. So really a cool night for all involved.
That's crazy. Yeah, I need to figure out, because I always remember that, like, when Jamie Foxx won, that it was like pretty shocking that there hadn't been more African American winners. It's the same with like Viola Davis and the African American females.
Right.
But there's probably maybe there have been more than Will Smith and Mahershala. I need to go back and dig into the tapes.
Check the award
figure
list.
it out.
Yeah. I remember I was so baffled because I hadn't seen Training Day because I was too young when it came out, but my parents were like, "Wow, this is really cool."
Yeah.
Denzel is these. I mean, it's like, it's really cool, and they're like, it's a little shocking that Denzel Washington is only the 2nd African American. He got like a 45-minute standing ovation, obviously, because
it's mind blowing.
His performance was just absolutely perfect in that role, and B, like, why did it take this long? But really, really cool stuff when that stuff happens. And man, if you have not seen Ray, if you've not seen Jamie Foxx and Ray, stop what you're doing right now and go watch it.
Jamie Foxx could still go get another one too.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's on a resurgence tour here.
Yeah. I think it's coming, man. I think he's going to get a role. I think he's going to get a big role. Might have a chance. Might be a contender again. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's our show. Thanks, Kirk, for the game. Biopic, schmiopic. Appreciate it.
Did you keep score?
No, I have no idea. Bad, I think, is my score for the game, but it was fun. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you are a YouTube viewer, first of all, thank you for being on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting. But also, behind a little bit on the uploads, I have a couple of movie reviews to get uploaded. Those are coming. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for watching on YouTube. Podcast people, we love you too. Thank you guys for being here. If you're on the stream, thank you so much for watching. It's been a fun show. As Kirk said multiple times, and as he as he showed by his amazing impression, we'll be reviewing Elvis this week. That's actually the name of the movie, Elvis. It's about Elvis Presley, obviously. We'll be reviewing it. It's dropping on Thursday. Don't miss it. Be there for that. Number one movie in America officially by the skin of its teeth over Top Gun Maverick this weekend, but it is the number one movie in America for right now. So we will be reviewing that as Kirk puts on his giddy up one last time for us.
Well, it's a 1 for the money, a 2 for the show, a 3 to get ready now. Go, cat, go.
You got to save
Don't
some of
you?
that for the review. All right.
You know how large Elvis's collection of music is.
That's true. That's true. But we'll leave you with that before Kirk sings any more songs for us. Thank you guys so much for listening. We want to give a special thanks to our executive producer, Ryan Spriggs, and the people who create the real music for this show. Not just Kirk's renditions, but also our original music by Rhetoric. Listen to those guys play you out, and we will see you for our review later this week.
I'll talk to you then. Oh.